Well, the city manager of Crystal City is arrested. A woman is accusing him of assaulting her as she tried to walk into a city council meeting. MaryAnn Martinez has just spoken to the city manager. And MaryAnn, what is he saying happened?
Well, Deborah, James Jonas is flat out denying the allegations, saying he never even laid a finger on the woman. And he's saying, don't take my word for it. He gave us 6 sworn affidavits of people he says will back up his story. He's a polarizing figure in Crystal City, the city manager, city attorney, and lobbyist who makes $220,000 a year. James Jonas was booked into jail Friday. Jonas is accused of assaulting a woman trying to walk into City Hall November 17th. He denies ever laying a finger on her. Can you show me what it was?
Yes, very simple. It's an employees only entrance, as you know. And as I was shutting the door, I merely wanted to make sure that no one was in the way.
A sheriff's report identifies Diana Jimenez as the accuser. She told investigators she repeatedly told Jonas not to touch her, but he grabbed her arm and pushed her away. The mayor of Crystal City says he anticipates a vote to decide Jonas's future.
Knowing the fact how the community is reacting towards him, to have a person present with him at all times now, and he should have known better, yeah.
And Jonas says he has no plans to resign from his position. He contends it's just a small group of people who don't want him there. Reporting live, MaryAnn Martinez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News. Before he was a councilman in Crystal City, Marco Rodriguez claims to have served in the U.S. Army, according to his Facebook page. Now he's in a federal detention center, accused of smuggling illegal immigrants. The arrest happened Saturday near this post office in Big Wells. The feds say Rodriguez was pulled over by a Border Patrol agent. They chatted briefly before Rodriguez allegedly tried to run away. Eventually, the Border Patrol caught up to him and the 3 illegal immigrants he was with. In a criminal complaint, Rodriguez admitted to being hired to transport the immigrants. The 36-year-old also told a federal agent he had done it on 2 other occasions, driving them to San Antonio. He was paid $500 and $1,400 on those trips. We went to Rodriguez's parents' home, but no one answered the door. The city manager and mayor also declined to talk, but Crystal City residents had plenty to say.
I mean, it's kind of common around here. So it's not really that shocking.
Just 2 weeks ago, city manager James Jonas was arrested. He is accused of assaulting a woman as she tried to make her way into a city council meeting. Overwhelmingly, residents told us any city official who is arrested should lose their job.
Definitely, if they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, I mean, they have enough corruption here in the city where they don't need any more.
Here at City Hall, the number of public officials with a rap sheet is growing. This arrest is the 3rd in a month and a half involving a public official.
They're making us look bad because it's a small town.
It's becoming a familiar sight. A Crystal City official posing for a jail mugshot. This time, it's the mayor pro tem. Rogelio Mata was pulled over early Sunday morning. The sheriff's report says Mata smelled like alcohol and had 2 open cans of Bud Light. During the field sobriety test, Mata stepped off the line several times, failed to walk in a straight line, and refused the 1-leg stand test.
Well, I think it's very disappointing, as a resident to have so many members of our city council, arrested for illegal acts.
We found Mata at home.
But as far as mayor pro tem, I will be staying at home. I like what I do. I try my best.
Earlier this month, City Councilman Marco Rodriguez was arrested and charged with human smuggling. Last month, City Manager James Jonas was arrested for assault.
The city needs to clean house, get rid of our current city council, get rid of James Jonas.
Tomorrow, the city will be meeting to discuss the future of Mr. Jonas. He acts as the city manager, the city attorney, and a lobbyist for the city and makes over $200,000 in a taxpayer-funded salary. Reporting from Crystal City, MaryAnn Martinez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
The FBI descends on the South Texas town of Crystal City to arrest all but 2 elected officials and raid City Hall.
The feds say this is one of the most prolific cases of public corruption they've ever seen. MaryAnn Martinez has been following this story for months, and she wraps up today's massive sweep.
The self-proclaimed spinach capital of the world woke up to law enforcement raiding City Hall and the homes of most of its elected officials. For many, this day had been a long time coming.
Oh, my favorite part was when I seen his face getting arrested.
A resident sent us this picture of City Councilman Rogelio Mata being arrested. Mayor Ricardo Lopez and City Councilman Roel Mata were also arrested. Gilbert Urabaso, who was a city councilman until May of 2015, was arrested in San Antonio. Today, the raids let the world know what Crystal City residents had known for years. Something wasn't right at City Hall.
It's insidious. I mean, it gets into a system and it becomes the way things work. And people at some point begin to feel that they have no power.
City manager, also the city attorney, James Jonas, was in federal court getting hit with federal bribery charges. The feds say Jonas is at the center of the corruption scandal, where people who wanted to do business with the city, like Fort Worth businessmen Knocktree Wynn, paid bribes in exchange for city council votes that could result in contracts with Crystal City.
There's one man in Crystal City that knows it all, and that's Popeye, the statue. Sitting right there. He knows it all.
The FBI says this investigation was the result of tips from Crystal City residents. They have established a hotline so they can continue their investigation into corruption in Crystal City. That number is 1-800-CALL-FBI. MaryAnn Martinez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Bankruptcy could be the next blow for Crystal City. New leaders of the South Texas town at the center of a public corruption scandal are now trying to figure out what happened to $2 million. Here's Eyewitness News reporter MaryAnn Martinez.
$5,600 for a private box at a Spurs game, billed to taxpayers in Crystal City, where the average family lives off of $24,000 a year.
In our community, there's a lot of, it's beyond reach for a lot of our community members.
But Crystal City former leaders, including the city manager and former mayor, treated themselves to it. They also spent $600,000 for hotel stays, $15,000 for the former mayor of Crystal City, Ricardo Lopez, to travel. All but one Crystal City leader were arrested in an FBI raid in January.
I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be tough, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad.
The new mayor took office in May and says he found a mountain of unpaid bills. 2 audits are underway. The new mayor tells us he believes there's about $2 million missing. Now, Crystal City's entire annual budget is about $1.5 million. We stopped by the former mayor's house. Any idea where those $2 million are?
I believe that most of the money might have been paid to Mr. James Jonas.
Can you look people in the eye and tell them you did not steal money?
I didn't steal any money.
The new mayor says the only way to pay off the mounting debt is to double property taxes and utilities or file for bankruptcy. But he says residents just can't afford to pay more, so the only realistic option is bankruptcy.
Our community has gone through a tremendous suffering so far with what has transpired, and they should not be punished any longer.
The new city council will wait for the audits to be completed in the coming weeks before they take a vote on the future of Crystal City. MaryAnn Martinez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.